Curtis Jackson. It's been cute and fun, but these memes is corny now. I mean, I saw your one post. You said, "Hey, I'm gonna pull up." I'm like, "What? How do you pull up to a meme? What do you mean? Come on, Jackson. We know you ain't built like that, Curtis. Have you ever been in a fight? Have you? Well, anyway. I mean, that would be interesting. I mean, to really pull up in like a ring and get it in. You've been involved with boxing before. I know some boxers. I say let's just pull up to a ring and get it. If you're really mad. I saw your boys wanted to fight Ja Rule on a plane. I was like, that's like fighting in a police station. Y'all don't really want to fight. Y'all just want to bully people. You just want to bully people. I take that challenge. I take that challenge. I give you some time to think about it. Put it all together. We can just meet in the ring. It could be for charity. Give the money to Children's Hospital. Or to, whatever. 10 rounds, 5 rounds. I would need some time. I would need some time to get in shape. I mean, I would need probably about 6 to 8 months. But, that's okay. Whatever time you give me to meet in the ring so we can really pull up, as you say, and it's be legal. It won't be no, street shit. It'll be some legal shit. It'll be like a fight. Thriller Manila, me against the gorilla. Sucking gorilla. That's you, the dick sucking gorilla. Look. Strong mouth. Think about it. 5-0. 5-0 said freeze, and I got numb. When they say 5-0, they're not saying 50, they say 5-0. He's one time. This nigga's one time. This nigga's one time. That's what I call you, one time. Anyway, let's set this up, homie. Real talk. No, just me and you in a ring. I would say give me, a couple months to get ready because I'm out of shape. I mean, we can go in there now. I mean, it ain't gonna be long. I'm gonna be, making haymakers or whatever, but I don't know. But you do talk a lot of shit, bully. Now I want to meet that challenge.
Faizon Love just landed in serious trouble, and the moment 50 Cent saw the headline, he wasted no time jumping straight into the mess. According to reports, Faizon was arrested in Hillsborough County, Florida, over 2 contempt of court charges connected to a child support warrant. But before the full story could even settle, 50 Cent was already on Instagram cracking jokes and making sure Faizon knew he was watching. 50 posted, "LOL, this fool just got busted again. He telling jokes in the bullpen." And right there, you could already tell this was not going to be a quiet situation. Once 50 put somebody on his radar, every bad headline becomes fresh material, and Faizon had already placed himself directly in the line of fire. This tension did not start with the arrest either. Earlier this year, Faizon went on Bag Fuel and questioned the amount of credit 50 receives for his success in movies and television. He made it sound like people were giving 50 way too much praise, and that was all it took for 50 to start firing back. 50 immediately brought up Faizon's career and joked that he had not had a major hit since Friday. That comment made it clear that 50 was not planning to ignore the criticism or let Faizon walk away without getting roasted. But then, Faizon took things even further. Instead of backing down, he challenged 50 Cent to meet him inside a boxing ring for charity. Faizon said the internet memes were getting corny, accused 50 of acting like a bully, and claimed they should settle the issue legally with gloves on. Now, the question was simple. Was Faizon seriously ready to fight 50, Or was this challenge just another wild moment in a feud that was already getting out of control? And this is where the situation started looking more personal. Faizon was not just laughing at 50's jokes or brushing off the Instagram posts. He was clearly bothered by the way 50 kept turning him into content every time his name appeared in the headlines. Faizon basically told 50 that the memes had run their course. He questioned whether 50 had ever really been in a fight and said all that pulling up talk meant nothing unless they were willing to meet face-to-face inside a real boxing ring. But Faizon did not ask for some street confrontation. He suggested a legal charity fight, with the money possibly going to a children's hospital. He even admitted that he would need several months to train because he was out of shape, but he still sounded confident that he could stand across from 50 and handle business. That challenge gave the whole feud a different energy. Before that, it was mostly jokes, interviews, and social media shots. Now Faizon was talking about rounds, training time, and putting an actual event together. Still, 50 never appeared to take the offer seriously. From his side, Faizon was simply giving him more material to work with. And anybody familiar with 50 knows that once he finds a weakness, he keeps pressing until the entire internet joins in. So when Faizon later ended up arrested, 50 did exactly what people expected. He pulled the old boxing challenge back into the spotlight and treated the arrest like another chapter in their ongoing comedy battle. After hearing Faizon make that challenge, it is easy to understand why 50 Cent saw the arrest headline as the perfect opening.
Actor Faizon Love, known for roles in movies like Friday, Elf, and Couples Retreat, out of jail after serving 16 days in a child support case.
But that decision came only after a contentious hearing in a Hillsborough County courtroom. 10 Tampa Bay News reporter Kristen Barbarisi joins us from the courthouse now with what happened.
Love was arrested in California just over 2 weeks ago for failing to surrender on 2 contempt of court charges. And in court today, there were tense exchanges not just between Love and the mother of his child, but the attorneys too.
He said he didn't have $100,000.
Is what he's saying the truth or not?
Attorneys sparred over child support payments as actor and comedian Faizon Love appeared in court. Seated in a wheelchair, Love repeatedly expressed frustration as he defended his record as a father.
Your Honor, what you were hearing was a frustrated black man saying, "What is this? I've always taken care of my daughter."
You see your daughter too, right?
Yes, I had just saw her. This lady had dropped her off and gave her money because she just had a new daughter and she didn't have no...
Let's not just keep to this. I don't want you to get upset.
At the center of the dispute, whether Love is hiding income from Tiffany Lee, the mother of his child. Love says he is broke and living with a friend who pays his bills.
Faizon had publicly questioned 50's toughness, called him a bully, and invited him into a boxing ring, so 50 was never going to let this moment slide quietly. And 50 did not need a long speech either. One quick Instagram post was enough to drag Faizon back into the spotlight and remind everybody that their tension was still alive. That is how 50 operates. He waits for the right headline, drops one brutal joke, and lets social media do the rest. To be fair, Faizon has built a respected career in comedy and appeared in major movies like Friday, Elf, and Couples Retreat. But lately, his bold interviews and controversial opinions have created almost as many headlines as his acting work. Faizon speaks freely about other celebrities, their careers, and their money, which keeps his interviews entertaining. The problem is that once he discusses another person's finances or success, people start examining his own situation just as closely. That is exactly why this arrest became bigger than one sarcastic post from 50 Cent. At first, the story looked like another round of internet trolling between two entertainers who had been trading shots for months. But once Faizon entered that Florida courtroom, the tone changed completely. His attorneys began describing serious financial problems, canceled work, garnished payments, and a living situation that nobody expected to hear from a famous actor. And while 50 was outside laughing about Faizon, telling jokes behind bars, cameras inside the courthouse were about to expose a much deeper and more uncomfortable story.
That is what cross-examination is about, and that did not occur at a CMC. And they refer to this May 1st and May 3rd, but the financial affidavit was filed in April, Judge, and the hearing was in April. So how does he include income that hasn't even happened yet? And as we stated, that Detroit show didn't happen. So at the time he filled out his financial affidavit, he wasn't working. This man has no home. He drives a 1999 car, and he lives with his friend who pays all his bills, who's here to testify. He had a movie, and we have a contract of it, but it's right now. It was last week. He got picked up. He can't do the movie. That was going to pay him about $5,000 a week. I have that contract here today. So he has not worked but in 3 minor films since COVID. But the financial affidavit is not what he made in 2022. It's not what he made in 2023. It's not what he made in 2024. It's not even what he made in 2025. It's 2026 income, and at the time he filled out that financial affidavit, he was unemployed, had no movies, and had no gigs. Comedian, he does stand-up comedy too, Judge. The court did order him to turn himself in May 1st, okay? The time for a motion for rehearing was still pending. That order does not become final until the motion for rehearing is heard. So I don't think not turning himself in May 1st should be considered as a penalty or punishment or punitive, because that order becomes final after my motion for rehearing, which was timely filed, is ruled upon. He did have money to fly to here and needed the state to fly him here. You know, once he was picked up, he don't have money. He has $100+ in the bank, baby. He has a $500,000 judgment against him every time he opens a bank account. Plus this judgment, it's garnished. So he has one bank account, Navy Federal Credit Union, with no money in it. Mr. Rodriguez, like I said, is here to testify that he pays for his bills, he pays for everything, he helps him book his shows.
That courtroom footage changed the whole mood. What started as another funny headline and a quick 50-cent joke suddenly turned into a serious look at Faizon Love's personal life, finances, and ongoing child support dispute. Faizon appeared in court after spending 16 days behind bars for failing to surrender on 2 contempt of court charges. He was seated in a wheelchair while his attorneys argued that he was not secretly sitting on piles of money, despite what the other side believed. According to Faizon's defense, he was struggling badly. They claimed he had almost nothing inside his bank account, no permanent home, and was living with a friend who helped cover his bills. His attorney also said Faizon drove an old 1999 vehicle and had barely worked since the pandemic. Faizon became emotional while defending himself and insisted that he had always been involved in his daughter's life. He told the court, "I've always taken care of my daughter," while trying to explain that he had recently spent time with her and provided support. But the hearing was not only about whether Faizon loved or visited his child. The real battle was over money and whether he was being completely honest about how much he earned. His attorney painted the picture of a once successful actor whose career had slowed down dramatically. But the opposing lawyer was preparing to tell a very different story, claiming Faizon was still earning major money from comedy shows while reporting almost no income. Then, the opposing attorney stepped in and challenged almost everything Faizon's side had just told the court. According to that attorney, Faizon was not simply unemployed with no money coming in. He claimed Faizon was still traveling across the country, headlining comedy shows, and earning thousands of dollars from certain appearances. The attorney pointed to one garnishment that reportedly brought in more than $9,000, saying that amount represented only part of Faizon's payment. Based on that figure, he argued that Faizon may have earned close to $20,000 from a single comedy show. That created a major conflict inside the courtroom. Faizon's lawyer argued that stand-up work is inconsistent, shows get canceled, and promoters sometimes pull out once they receive legal paperwork demanding a percentage of his earnings.
It was not like missing a few things. It was not, it was literally just a blank financial affidavit, essentially saying I have no income. We have collected, as I mentioned, some money pursuant to garnishments. And these garnishments are not small amounts. Yes, there are some small amounts from certain locations that we get, but just from a single comedy show that he did, which we had to litigate before the general magistrate to actually get paid, because Mr. Love's, one of his prior attorneys, was threatening the comedy club that they would sue them if they gave me any money pursuant to the order, which the GM ended up saying, you need to give that money, was over $9,000. So that was just about half of what he earned. So he's earning about $20,000 per comedy show. There's several shows in a week that he flies to different cities and does a comedy show and headlines and advertise it. And we've been sending out letters to these comedy shows saying, hey, he's performing there in 3 weeks. Here's a copy of the tour. We're seizing, 55% of his income. And they end up fighting us on it. And like I said, you can take a look at the court record and you can see where that is. So it's not just a matter of, oh, well, I was between jobs. He gets constant money from his prior shows and movies and things like that. He's constantly doing comedy shows all over the country where he flies there and does these comedy shows for $18,000, $20,000 a pop. And to say, well, but I had a comedy show and it canceled, so I put zero income. It's not, well, but that's how it's done. I mean, if you're a plumber and you plumb one day and you plumb 3 days later, but you do financial application in between those days, on your day off, you don't say, I make zero income. I mean, that's just not how it works.
His defense also claimed Faizon had recently secured a movie role paying around $5,000 per week, but lost the opportunity after being arrested. From their perspective, the child support battle was not only collecting money, it was making it harder for him to earn anything in the first place. But the other side was not buying that explanation. The attorney argued that someone cannot earn money from several shows and then report zero income simply because they happen to be between bookings when the financial paperwork was filed. Now the court had two completely different versions of Faizon's life. One side described a struggling actor with no home, almost no money, and limited work. The other described a working comedian who was still bringing in serious checks, but failing to report the full picture. And this is where the courtroom exposure became bigger than the child support case itself. Once these financial claims went public, Faizon's entire image started taking a serious hit. Faizon is known for sitting in interviews and speaking boldly about other celebrities, especially their careers, money, and business moves. That style has always made him entertaining, but now every future opinion could be thrown right back at him. When Faizon previously questioned 50 Cent's wealth and success, people listened because he sounded confident and informed.
So back to him. So I gotta ask you, now you were honest, you said that you weren't attracted to him initially, then it was his personality, and you kind of fell for him.
Yeah.
That's a big guy. Like, how did it go in the bedroom? Did you have to do most of the work? Because you said you was really good with your hands. Like, how did that go? Did you have to climb on top of him? What? Like, tell me. I know he sleeps on his side because he can't sleep on his back or, like,
oh my God.
Please, girl, you have to enlighten us.
To be honest, Miss Tasha, it was by far like the worst experience that I had in my life. And that's why it only happened one time, because I could not bring myself to do it again. And this is why I don't understand how like prostitutes, how they do it, because I could not forget that whole scene.
Do you mind describing that scene? We would enlighten us, what went down.
Smelly a little bit at a certain point.
So he was what do you mean he was smelly? Like, what was smelling?
Okay. I don't know. Okay. Well, to kind of describe the scene, I don't think he could reach certain places when he's bathing. So I'm thinking that's where it initially came from. But he does smell good outside of the bedroom because he has cologne. So this cologne smells really strong. But then in the bedroom, it would smell. And then the next morning there was this brown. He was sitting at the edge of the bed, and there was this brown.
Brown what, girl? Brown what?
He sat on the edge of the bed for a little while, and he was on the phone. And then when he got up, there was brown.
It was brown streaks from his ass? Oh, hell no.
So
But after hearing his own attorney say he had almost no money in the bank, no permanent home, and a friend covering his expenses, critics suddenly had plenty of ammunition. That is what makes this situation so damaging. Even if Faizon's explanation is completely true, the public rarely waits for the full legal story. They hear less than $100, living with a friend, and garnished checks, then turn those details into memes overnight. Faizon's lawyer also claimed the public hearing could hurt his ability to secure future work. Promoters may not want to book him if they believe payments will immediately become tied up in legal disputes, while movie producers may see the controversy as another risk. Still, the other side argued that Faizon continued landing profitable comedy shows and was not giving the court a complete picture. So instead of clearing his name, the hearing left viewers with even more questions. But while Faizon was trying to defend his finances inside court, another interview connected to the case was spreading online, and the allegations being made there were far more personal and disturbing. Then the story took an even darker turn when the mother of Faizon's child appeared in a separate interview and made highly personal claims about their private relationship. She told Tasha K that her experience with Faizon had been uncomfortable and described an alleged hygiene issue after they spent the night together. The details were embarrassing, graphic, and quickly started spreading online. None of those claims were proven inside the courtroom, and Faizon did not appear in that interview to respond. So this has to be treated as one person's allegation, not confirmed fact. Still, the timing made everything look worse. Faizon was already dealing with an arrest, questions about his income, and claims that he was struggling financially. Then this deeply personal story hit the internet and gave people another reason to clown him. That is where the damage can become almost impossible to control. Court documents are one thing, but once a humiliating allegation becomes a viral clip, social media can turn it into a permanent joke before the person involved gets a chance to answer. Faizon's supporters may see the interview as an unnecessary attempt to embarrass him during an already difficult legal battle. Others may believe the mother was simply telling her side of the story. Either way, the situation had now moved far beyond child support. Faizon was no longer just fighting over money in court. He was fighting to protect his name while every private detail became public entertainment. And now, 50 Cent's reaction hits completely different. At first, his post looked like a quick joke about Faizon getting arrested, but once the courtroom footage surfaced, the situation became much deeper than one trolling caption. 50 already had unfinished business with Faizon after Faizon questioned his success, downplayed his money, and challenged him to a charity boxing match. So the moment Faizon's own finances became public, 50 had the perfect chance to flip every previous comment right back on him. That does not mean every claim made in court or during the interview should automatically be accepted as fact. Faizon's attorneys said he was genuinely struggling, while the opposing side argued that he was still earning major money from comedy shows. Those are two very different stories, and the court will have to sort out what is actually true. But from a public image standpoint, the damage is already moving fast. Faizon went from speaking confidently about other celebrities to having his bank account, housing situation, missed work, and private life discussed in front of cameras. And 50 Cent knows exactly how to use moments like this. He does not need to prove every detail. He simply drops the headline, adds one disrespectful joke, and lets the internet run wild with it. So, what do you think? Did 50 take the trolling too far, or did Faizon bring this attention on himself after speaking on 50's career and challenging him publicly? Get down in the comments and let me know how you feel. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to Dripzine, and turn on your bell notifications so you never miss another video. Salute.